Hey guys, it's Sam and welcome back to another critique video. In this video series, I critique the art that you guys send in to me and hopefully it is helpful for you. This video's artwork comes from SamIamLuvDov, SamIamLuvDov, sorry if I mispronounced your username. So let's get into it. Feel free to ignore this gray space, it'll come into play later, but for right now, this comes from Sam, and they say, I was just wondering how exactly to make a character look tall and slender without stretching out their body. I've had a problem with that because I'm not used to drawing different body types. So to start off, I think the design concept is nicely done, the colors work well together, and the style is really cute. I can see you have a bit of an idea of how anatomy works, but we can definitely take that a couple steps further. So I went ahead and I outlined the anatomy of your artwork just to show you what's going on underneath the clothing. If you don't already, I highly recommend drawing the underlying body first before placing any clothing or even hair on top. Clothing, hair, shading, all that stuff can't really hide any underlying mistakes, so it's best to tackle them early on. I can see you did do that though with the legs, which is how I was able to trace that, so good on that there. So we'll come back to this in a second, but to help you understand height, I went ahead and grabbed this picture from a Dove advertising campaign. I'm not sponsored, but it does show some various height differences, and I want to break that down. So I marked the first woman's torso's height in red. It's not 100% accurate, but it gets the gist across. Now if I move it around to the other women, you'll notice that there are some differences in the height of the torso, but for the most part, it's all kind of in the same ballpark. Now I did the same for the legs, again, not 100% accurate, but you'll notice that as I drag this one across as well, you'll see much larger differences. So in most adult bodies, the torsos are all around the same height. There's going to be some differences, but the main differences that you'll see in differently sized people are the limbs. So you might have heard this before, but a popular way to help with building heights of characters is by using heads. It can help give you a base of something to build off of to keep your anatomy looking accurate regardless of how tall someone is. So here's a snippet from Andrew Loomis's book, Figure Drawing for All It's Worth. Again, torsos are all just about the same size here. It's the legs that you really start to see the difference. The thing with height, as you addressed, isn't about stretching the body. So here's a quick little sketch of a person, and given the number of heads for their height, we can tell that they're on the shorter end. So if we just stretch the body, you can tell pretty immediately that some things are looking wrong. Now if I were to do the stretching again, make this a little bit bigger. If I were to do the stretching again, this time just focusing on the limbs, it looks much more passable. Since these were stretched and not like redrawn, you can kind of see some issues with it. I'm mentioning torsos and legs specifically because one, that's kind of the height thing, and two, with the specific proportions that you have in your own drawing, things just seemed a little bit off to me. Specifically, the torso felt a bit elongated and the legs kind of seemed a bit squished. So it was kind of like a bit of the opposite. So kind of like a super rough sketch thing, and obviously styles are different, but just my own version of your drawing. things aren't 100% perfect, but maybe that'll give you a little bit of an idea for some things for the future. Keeping in mind placement where things line up can also help, like where if you have your arms like straight down on your side, like where does your hand cut off, like where is your elbows, that sort of thing. I think that might help with your proportions and anatomy and figuring out height and stuff too. So when thinking about height for characters, definitely think about the number of heads for the height. I definitely recommend checking out Andrew Loomis's book, just because in general it's like a really great resource, but also you can see this page with a little bit more detail, and I think that can help quite a bit for you. But in general, some great ways to learn about body types and anatomy is through figure drawing and observation. I have a tutorial on figure drawing if you want to learn a little bit more about that, and I'll put a link to it in the description down below. And with observation, this can come with looking more closely at images online, tracing, or better yet, just seeing people in real life. If you're ever going out, just sneak a few glances at people and ask yourself questions. Why is this person taller? What happens with the weight distribution? That sort of thing. See if you can figure out answers to your questions as well. And you can do this with friends and family too. You can take some photos, or you can look in a mirror and see what differences and similarities you can find between people. I think you're off to a good start. Taking some deeper dives into anatomy will definitely help you loads. And remember, art is a never-ending learning process. I'm still learning a lot myself, so definitely enjoy the process and keep it up. If you'd like to see more from Sam, I'll have their DeviantArt page linked in the description down below. And if you'd like to see more critique videos from me, I'll have the entire playlist also linked in the description down below. And a special shout out to all my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see more artwork, tutorials, bonus content, art tips, all that stuff, consider becoming a patron. Even just $1 makes a huge difference, and I really appreciate it. Link for more information is in the description down below. If you haven't already, subscribe for more art-related videos, and thanks for watching. Bye!